Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. How are we doing this morning? Morning. Good morning. Hello, world. Yes, in the trash. Exactly. Hello, world. Indeed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Where's everyone tuning in from today? Let me know, because I'm always amazed where people are tuning in from. Like, I'm sure it's like the middle of the night. Some locations we've had in some of the past. So, uh, yeah. So, Bengaluru, India. Thank you for joining, of course. I am, as you all know, in the UK, and it's actually a nice sunny day today, like good blue skies, no clouds. So I think I'll have to go out for a wander a little bit later and enjoy the weather when we actually have some nice weather. Let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Another person joining from India as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning, all. So, in case you haven't joined any of these before, from Nairobi as well. Good morning. So, in case you haven't joined any of these before, this is Rubber Duck Thursdays. This is really just a stream where we just kind of hang out, talk a bit about tech, do some live coding, build some stuff, and just generally have some fun doing what we do, developing and building things. So, yeah, this is your time to kind of relax. If you are, watching to learn, that's great. If you're watching to have a coworker while you're doing your other work, that is great too. However, you've got it set up. You do you. This is just a very kind of casual stream where we do this. So, yeah, you are all welcome to join. So we've got folks from the Maldives, from SA, which I'm assuming is South Africa, I think. From Latin America, Venezuela. Wow, that must be very early right now. It's 10:30 here in the UK, so if my time zone maths is right, that must be very early. From Poland. There we go. Good. And I'm equally interested in what people's backgrounds are as well. So, see, we've got some front ends developers here, and today's stream might be interesting for you. So, the last few streams we focused on building games in a GitHub CLI extension. And we can do that if we want. Like, I'm happy to go and do that. But I thought I'd kind of show you something I've been working on and just talk through a few fun different things that I've been working on with it. So another game, actually. So yeah, let me know what you want to cover today and in future streams as well. Hello from India. Hello, everyone. Bengaluru, India as well. Good. Hello from Martinique in the Caribbean. Again, wow. Must be very, very early there right now. And from India as well. Lovely. Good. We've got a good mix of folks here today. So we'll do what we normally do. And we will take a look at some of the recent announcements and some of the recent things that have come out from GitHub, take a look at the changelog, and then I'm going to show you the project that I've been working on, because I'm sure you all know what it's like. You kind of go about your everyday life, you go and do your thing. For me, it was grabbing lunch last Friday, and I was thinking about, hey, I want to go and build something fun. I want to go and just build, because we just like building projects, right? Like we've always got projects piling up, probably domain names piling up as well, and things that we want to go and build. And I was like, right, what's going to be my next thing where I just try and build something? So I want to show you that a bit later as well. So it is a game, and we actually have some front end stuff. So we do have. Oh, I've noticed my camera is frozen. Bear with me. I'm back. There we go. Good. So yeah, we've got some front end stuff that I'll go and walk you through, and we'll just see how we get on and where we want to kind of take it all here today as well. So That'd be great. All love from Berlin. Excellent. Well, welcome, welcome. What is that in the back? Is it a sword? No, they are lightsabers. They are lightsabers. I'm a big, big fan of a certain sci-fi genre. Um, so yes, you always get options. I did have one at the top here as well, actually. It fell down in the middle of the night, like a few days ago. So I haven't put it back up yet. So it does look a little different without having that top in there. So I need to go and fix it. Hello from Belgium, full stack dev. Hello world. Wow, 6 a.m. There we go. It is early. And you're tuning in to us at 6 a.m. That's amazing. Thank you. Well, I hope we give you the great start to the day that you're looking for. And hello, hello. So good. Let's start off with our normal thing here. Let's just go and take a look at the GitHub changelog. And what we do, we just have a look at what has changed since last week, since we were live last week. So you'll see that we're actually looking at last Wednesday. There were a couple that seemed to sneak in after we were live last week. So we'll go and cover those, and then we'll carry on. So as is continuing trends and just a stream of announcements, there's some additional models now available for Copilot in JetBrains IDEs. So if you are a JetBrains user and you're using Copilot, there's some good news, because now you can go and try out those additional models. And of course, there's Copilot free as well. So you can go and try that out if you haven't tried Copilot already with JetBrains. So yeah, a nice little update there. Some additional models available in GitHub Models. So GitHub Models, we haven't really done it on the stream, actually. Maybe that's something we can do at some point. But it's a bit like a playground where you can go and try out some of these new AI models and kind of compare and contrast and see how the responses are. Because if you're building AI into your own applications, you want to kind of figure out which models to go and use, right? So that's what GitHub Models is. And there's two new models now available there as well. So 5.4 mini instruct and for multimodal instruct as well. So I believe, yeah, the 5.4 ones are from Microsoft, and it looks like it's a lightweight model designed for chat completion prompts, strong reasoning, particularly math and logic. Multimodal instruct, multimodal model, so it can go and do not just text, but it can do images and audio as well. So yeah, that could be interesting to go and explore if you're looking to build some AI-based apps. What else have we got? We've got, it's easier to track your progress with fixed code scanning, code QL security alerts on the security overview page. Got it. So if you've got code, what's the word I'm looking for? Code scanning alerts that have popped up through GitHub Advanced Security, and Copilot Autofix can go and fix them, you can now go and see how many alerts have been fixed with those suggestions. That's kind of cool, actually, a nice quality of life update. What else have we got? You can manage push protection bypass requests for secret scanning with the REST API. Nice. So if you didn't know, secret scanning is one of the features available as part of like our security suite. And one of the things that you can do is you can add this thing called push protection. So if you happen to have put a secret in your code, for example, we've all been there, I'm sure, that we've been working away, we've got our env file and we forgot to put the git ignore in place, or we've put a secret somewhere and we're like, right, I'll clean that up before I push it to the server and before I push it to GitHub, and then didn't, and then the secret's leaked. I'm sure we've all been there. Push protections helps you go and protect against that scenario. So runs a scan when the code is basically pushed to the GitHub servers. So this looks like a way that you can go and manage the bypass request setting for that kind of process, but via the REST API. And of course, we all love automating things. So having those REST APIs is, again, another great quality of life addition. So great to see that. Changes and deprecation notice for NPM replication APIs. So we're making changes to the NPM replication APIs to optimize performance and availability. Certain endpoints will be deprecated as of Thursday, May the 29th. So that's what, a couple of months away? There'll be new endpoints will be available starting March 18th, so that is next week, and then those endpoints will be fully deprecated in May. So again, if you're using those npm replication APIs, good to be aware of. So go and take a look from that. Scheduled code spaces maintenance. There's some maintenance coming up in Europe and Southeast Asia from Friday, February the 28th to Saturday, March 1st. So that was last week. So that's now happened, I guess. So that's all good. There we go. And this was a big one last week, actually. OpenAI GPT 4.5 got released. And on the day it got released, it was also available in GitHub Copilot. So it's now available in GitHub Copilot Chat to Copilot Enterprise users. So you've got to be on Copilot Enterprise for that one. It's a large language model designed with advanced capabilities and intuition, writing style and broad knowledge, performs effectively with creative prompts, provides reliable responses to obscure knowledge queries. And it looks like Copilot Enterprise users get 10 requests every 12 hours per user. So it's available, I guess, in VS Code right now. And will be coming then to Visual Studio and JetBrains by the looks of it as well. So there we go, another model that we can go and try in Copilot. Now this one was nice, actually. I did have a quick scan through earlier just to see what else has come up. And I think last week or the week before we mentioned that code scanning introduced coverage for GitHub Actions. So with CodeQL and code scanning in GitHub, you can go and scan many different languages, so like Go, JavaScript, TypeScript, etc. And GitHub Actions is one of those that has been added to the list now. And I've been using it to help me just, keep on top of my own GitHub Action workflows. And it looks like they've expanded the types of scenarios it detects for as well. So things like user-controlled sources, so like the text of a GitHub issue, if it's being used to populate the path of an environment variable. So, if there was a way to kind of inject malicious things into the path, for example, being able to search for that, detect situations where environment variables are not properly sanitized, situations where user-controlled input can end up in context like run or script. So again, it looks like it's those scenarios where maybe there's some kind of potentially untrusted source that you would go and run. So yeah, that looks like a few different scenarios there. And the unpinned tag has been moved to security. And okay, well, that's cool. So some extension there in terms of what code scanning can go and pick up there as part of that. So that was good to see. And additionally, actually, as part of the CodeQL update. So it looks like this is part of CodeQL 2.25. If you're tracking that at all, by the way, Go 1.24 support, C# 13 language features are available there as well. And then some additional bits and pieces there as well. Yeah, so the new language features of that Go 1.24 release, cross-site request forgery in Java there as well. And then the language supported features as part of C# 13 and .NET 9. Good. Right, what else have we got? Mobile's monthly release. This is nice. This is like a roundup of what has come up from the GitHub mobile team. Cool. So January and February brought a number of improvements, making it powerful and flexible. New features for coding and collaboration on the go. Third-party integrations to extend Copilot's capabilities. Okay. So Copilot Chat is available for all users on mobile for free. So it's that free SKU, that free tier that you've seen being introduced across different places there. Copilot extensions. Ooh, nice. Sub-issues is now available on GitHub Mobile. Great. I've been using sub-issues a lot. And in fact, you'll see how I've been using them on one of my own projects a little bit later. And then you can review your notification preferences there as well. Some bug fixes there on iOS and Android as well. Nice. Good to see it. Copilot Workspace has had some updates as well. So an indicator for your daily or hourly quotas. Nice. I love that kind of visibility there. a dashboard of issues assigned to you, several UX improvements. Good. So some good quality of life updates there for Copilot Workspace. So good to see that. Copilot code referencing support. I was going to say I need to put my glasses on, but I've got them on. Code referencing support is generally available in JetBrains there, so good to see that. Metered billing for GitHub Enterprise and GitHub Advanced Security Server usage. And another nice quality of life update. So if you're using NPM packages and you're looking at your Dependabot alerts, it looks like you can now easily see whether it's a direct dependency or whether it's a transitive dependency. So good to kind of see that, so you can then kind of measure that that risk, I guess, in terms of whether it's something you can patch very easily or whether it's something upstream. Nice. Yes, the new pull request merge experience is now generally available. So you might have spotted that the user interface for pull requests looks ever so slightly different. It's had a little bit of a paint lift, whatever the word is there, whatever the phrase is. You can check group by status, checks ordered logically, using natural ordering to make it easier to find a specific check. Nice. Okay, so again, nice quality of life updates, and most importantly, improved accessibility. So consistent keyboard navigation, focus management, some of those pieces there as well. Now this one is almost like a pre-announcement here, actually. So this one is kind of interesting, and it relates to the announcement above as well. So you can find secrets in your organization with the secrets risk assessment. So the secret risk assessment will be available on April the 1st, 2025, as part of the launch for secret protection for GitHub team and enterprise plans. So it looks like it's a dashboard that can kind of give you basically a heads-up view of the potential risk of secret leakage in your organization. So where there's potential risk at the moment, and then if you wanted, you could go and get secret protection to go and help you keep track of that over time then as well. So yeah, that's interesting. It looks like that is coming on April the 1st. And if we scroll up a little bit, this is kind of one of the big announcements that came out this week, is GitHub secret protection, GitHub code security. So yeah, let's just kind of read this one. So announcing changes to pricing plans and availability for GitHub Advanced Security. Starting April the 1st, Advanced Security will be available as 2 standalone security products. So secret protection and code security. So GitHub Advanced Security, I think, was only available for GitHub Enterprise before, but now it will also be available for GitHub Team Plan customers as well. So it looks like there's some additional information there. It's being split into 2 packages. So $19 a month for the secret protection piece, $30 a month then for the code security piece. Available for GitHub Team customers. And it looks like there's some information on if you're already on GitHub Advanced Security, how that looks like in terms of renewals and transitioning and stuff. But that's kind of cool, you know, if you've got existing tools in place and you wanted the code scanning, or you wanted the secret, or you wanted to kind of gradually roll that out, now you've got options to do that. So that's cool. Good to see that flexibility there. And then finally, what have we got here? Delegated alert dismissal for code scanning and secret scanning, now available in public preview. So keep control over the security posture of your organization. With delegated alert dismissal, with this feature, you can require a review process before alerts are dismissed. Nice. This helps you manage security risk better. That is interesting. Yeah, so now you can review things like who closed the alerts, how they've been closed, etc., and adds a bit more governance, I guess, is kind of what I'm reading here. So people who are org owners or security manager roles can review and approve dismissal requests by default. The state of previously dismissed alerts does not change when enabling this feature. Nice. I like that one. So that really helps you kind of control, again, that risk that we've been talking about a couple of times here as we've been going through those updates. So nice. Good to see that. Good. So let me go and take a look at the chat. You have all been busy chatting away here. So hello from Ghana. Hello. Hey all. Hi from Orlando. Nice and early in Orlando as well. Hi supercoders. Let's learn together. That is exactly the kind of energy we want for this stream. And that's exactly what we do on this stream is we just come here, we learn together, find out what's going on, go and code things, probably go and break things, and all learn together in the process. So what's up? Copilot language skills really impressed you. Oh, I would love to learn more about that. When you say language skills, what do you mean there? Is it like the fact that if you speak in your own natural language that it can kind of respond back, or is it to do with programming languages? Would love to learn more. Let me know in the chat. So from India, good morning. Well, sorry, good afternoon, good evening. 5.5. Yeah, good afternoon, I guess. Good afternoon. Time zones are hard. Hello all from New York City. Hello from India, Yemen. Happens to the best of us. Interns would be saved. Hello from Nepal. Yes, I guess we're on about the committing secrets, right, Yash Raj? That's what we're talking about there. Hello from Nepal. From India, South Africa. Hello from Brazil. I'm not sure of the question. I removed collaborator on that display. I'm not sure what you mean there. Working with Dependabot right now. Excellent. And hello from Portugal. Nice. Hopefully it's sunny in Portugal. India. Foreign language. You ask Copilot to teach you Chinese. Well, this is the interesting thing though. If you respond, or if you ask Copilot things in a certain language, I found it does respond back in that language as well. So yeah, it's worth a try. Yeah, I know some of the folks on my team have done demos in other languages, like in their own native languages, and yeah, pretty powerful stuff. First time for rubber ducking GitHub. Well, welcome. Everyone is welcome here. We're all here to learn and here just to see what we get done here today. We've just been doing some of the latest updates from GitHub on the GitHub changelog, and now we'll be doing some coding in a moment. Thank you for this comment. Hello, this is nice. Thank you. This is what we aim for, the nice kind of relaxed, casual vibe. And if you just want someone to co-work with, if you're doing virtual working or whatnot, or if you're here to learn and keep up to date with the latest, then that's what this stream is here for. Good. Hello from Kenya. Hello from Poland. And hello from Morocco. Lovely. Again, I love just the distribution and the diversity that we have of folks listening in here. So welcome, everyone. Cool. Right. So what are we going to do? I teased that we're going to do something different this week, if you're all okay with it. The last few weeks, we've been building a number of games for the command line. So we've been using Go, and we're building a GitHub CLI extension. So we built a coin toss game, and yes, the favorite casual coin tossing stream. I'll have to make sure I get the coin toss in there at some point as well. But we built coin tossing, we built tic-tac-toe, we built rock, paper, scissors, and we built a secret mode last week using Copilot Vision for rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. So if you are interested in checking that out and what we've been building, then you can go to gh.io/gh-game, just there, and go and check that out if you want, because, it's open source. You can go and have a peek and go and have a look. But I mentioned on Friday, I was going out for lunch. I was grabbing something for lunch, and I was thinking, what do I want that next project to be? What do I want to go and build? Because I want to go and kind of keep learning and pushing myself as well, like we all do, and just keeping my skills sharp. And I was just thinking, I want to build something kind of fun that maybe we can use at the company as well for like different events and things that we do. And of course, our mascot at GitHub is the Octocat. We love Octocats. We've got, in fact, a whole page. In fact, I'm going to go and bring that up here. We've got a whole page of different artwork of the Octodecks here as well. So lots and lots of different Octocats here. And I was thinking, like, what could we do with like a game around the Octocats? And what I started thinking about was a game like Snap, you know, where you've got a load of cards out on the table, and you pick up one card, you flip over another card. Are they the same? Great. Leave them turned over. If they're not, turn them back over. So it's like that memory game. And I was thinking, maybe we could build something like that. And so that's what I've started building since last Friday. And I wanted to just show you what I've built so far and show you the rabbit holes that I've been going down, and kind of talk you through the process of how I got started kind of building and just talking through what I've been up to. And maybe we build a little bit on this here as well. My plan is to release it at some point. It's currently just in a private repo. But I'm, once I've done a bit more work on it and it's in a bit more polished state, we'll get it published, I hope. So that's the plan. So if you're all good with that, and maybe doing a little bit of a detour away from Go this week, I figured we'd go and take a look at what I've been building with Next.js and in JavaScript and doing some real kind of front-end stuff. So let me just go and show you first off what the app is. Let me go and show it off. So we'll go and let that build a second, go and run locally. So I've been kind of working on this as I can in my spare time since last Friday. So almost a week now, on and off. And it's changed a lot. Originally, when I started it, it started off as really, really simple. No kind of different modes, no kind of different times that you could go and select or anything like that. It started off just really, really, really basic. And when I started it, I kind of bootstrapped it as let's just match different colors of cards rather than using images or anything like that, because I wanted to kind of modularly, is that the right way of saying it? I wanted to like granularly kind of build it up over time. And then eventually this is kind of where I got to with it. So this is the screen that you would see when you kind of kick off. And you have these different difficulties that you can go and select. So you've got easy mode, and you've got medium, and then you've got hard mode then as well. And then you can go and select how long the game would take. So I've been doing it on medium for the most part. So let's go and click that. And then you get your cards, and you could go and flip it over. You could go and select them. And notice on medium mode that it applies this kind of slight styling change to the cards. That's very deliberate to make it a little bit harder. So like this one is rotated, for example. So we'll keep going. So I think that one was there. That one was there. And you can see that it's just a fun little like mini game of matching the Octocats together. There we go. Nice. So we get the nice little confetti at the end, and we get the breakdown of the score. So that has come on a long way since I started it last week. Because last week, when I kicked it off, like I mentioned, it was just like different color cards. There were no images on it. And every time you matched a set of cards, you just got 10 points. So whether you selected like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter what like level of difficulty you set. Well, it does. We'll come back to that in a moment. But it was kind of 10 points for every single map. So there wasn't really like any kind of model behind how you kind of scored the game initially. Now, the difference between the modes, just to kind of help set a bit of context as well. Easy is again a 4x4 board, but it doesn't apply any what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of transformations to the images. So you'll notice they are all like for like. So it's a bit easier because they're not transformed in any way. So there we go. There we go. So for this easy one, you can see that the mode's difficulty, you just get a multiplier of 1. Whereas then if we go for hard is very hard. I still haven't completed a game of hard in 60 seconds. But in hard mode, it's, what is it? It's a 6x6 grid, and then both images have a transformation applied. So they might be rotated, they might have a color filter on them as well. So it is super, super hard to try and get your matches on this one. There we go. I think that one and that one. Oh, those two. No, there's that one and that one. And you can kind of see how this gets really hard when you get to 6x6, right? I think it was that one. And there we go. I bet you're all watching and kind of shouting, going, no, it's this one. You got to pair this one with this one. You missed that one. You did this one. It's very easy when you're not got a stream of people watching you, is what I would say. Oh, that one. No. The umbrella. There we go. So those two happen to have the exact same filter applied. Maybe there's a bug. There's a bug in hard mode. Look at that. They're actually all the same. Anyway, this is the beauty, is we get to find bugs in the things that we're making. But you can see the mode's difficulty here is now a 1.6 multiplier. So in easy mode, it's multiplied by 1, medium 1.3, and hard mode 1.6. And you also get a multiplier based on how much time you select as well. So if I said I'm going to do medium in 30 seconds, look at that one, that one, that one, that one. Uh-oh. Feeling the pressure. I can't multitask when doing this. Oh. Oh, God, they're just in time. That was a real race there. But you can see time difficulty multiplied by 2 this time, and then mode's difficulty by 1.3. So the reason I'm showing you all this is I went down such a big rabbit hole thinking through this. And it really got me thinking about like the intricacies of some of the challenges that we have to solve as devs, depending on the project that we're building and kind of what thing that we're making, right? So what I want to do is I want to just bring back up Visual Studio Code, and we'll stop that for now. And let's go and bring that terminal. So as I mentioned, this app that we've been building is a Next.js app. I'm planning to publish it as like a static site to GitHub pages. Maybe over time that might change because, you know, I want to have like a leaderboard and things like that as well, which aren't there at the moment. But the thing that the rabbit hole that I started going down with was around this scoring. And I'm a really visual person. You know, I did like math. I've done maths at school. I've done statistics and stuff like that. But if I see a load of numbers on a page and formulas and things, like, my brain doesn't quite understand it. My brain kind of looks at it and goes, okay, cool, numbers. I'm a really visual person. So if I wanted to kind of make that model of like, if I select this difficulty, if I do it in this time period, if I do it in this amount of time, then I'd rather see that visually, because then I can kind of see how all of the different rates of things compare, blah, 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 blah. So what I did was I used Copilot to help me out build the scoring model. And it took a few iterations, because initially it built 3 different graphs of like, right, here's an X and a Y axis on like the difficulty and the score. Here's one on the time and the score. And I was like, no. I want to see it all on one big, super massive graph. Because like, I need to be able to compare it. Like, if you're in hard mode and you perform well, you should be a lot better off than like in easy mode and performing well. But if you perform really well or kind of okay in medium, but really well on easy, they should kind of be comparable. So there should be like this overlap between the different levels of difficulty. So it was a really interesting problem to try and start solving. And I went through a few iterations with Copilot, helping me build this scoring model. And what it got me appreciating was how we break down problems as developers. Because rather than just saying, right, help me build the scoring model, like, it wouldn't know what to do. But I had to really think about how I prompted Copilot to kind of get where I wanted to go. So it was like, right, one of the inputs that we can control is the game mode. And there's a multiplier for the game mode. So let's establish what that multiplier should be. There is a duration. So you can change what duration you want the rounds to be. So 60 seconds is the baseline. If you do it shorter than 60 seconds, you should get rewarded for that. If you do it longer than 60 seconds, you should get penalized for that. When you're matching pairs, in theory, if you've got a 4x4 grid, so 16 cards, that's 8 pairs of cards. So 8 times 2, 16. So in theory, if you were perfect at the game, you could match it in 8 goes. So if you do it in more than 8 goes, then you should get penalized for every move more than 8 that you do. So there's all of these different kind of little rules that you build in that I was kind of then iterating with Copilot to go and build this model. So you can see here, we've got the game mode as easy. The multiplier is 1, 1.3, 1.6, like we saw. There's 8 pairs in easy, 8 pairs in medium, 18 pairs in hard mode. So it's quite a jump up. So that's why it feels pretty difficult in comparison. The minimum time is 30 seconds. Max time is 30. And then the time increments. And then you've got your possible durations in that range. And when I was kind of cleaning up the code for this, I asked Copilot just to document what are those rules. So, scoring model and the explanation behind it. So a time difficulty multiplier, the shorter game durations receive higher multipliers. The performance ratio, for example. So if you've got a perfect play, then you get a ratio of 1. Whereas when you make more random clicks, you get penalized for that. And that score gets lower and lower, right? And then the way that the score is built up is of a few different components. So you've got your base score, which is just 5 times the number of pairs. 5 was just an arbitrary number that I picked. Originally, it did weight, I think, a score of 8 for each pair. And then time was like 3. So there was an imbalance, and you were rewarded more for the matches than you were for the time. But actually, when I was thinking through it, I wanted the balance to be the same between the two. Like, you should be equally rewarded for matching them, but doing it with speed. And then there's the penalty then for them just randomly clicking and not kind of testing your memory effectively, I guess. So all of that context then helped me build out this model in Python. So you get to choose the mode that you're using, the configuration that's plotted against a color, blah, 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 blah. You get where we're going here with this. What that translated into was, if I go to the right folder, was, trying to change screen. Hold on. User errors. There we go. Right. Was building this graph. I hope you're ready. I hope you are so ready for this. And this is a great question. Did I save my prompt history? If yes, am I planning to add it as part of the repo docs? I'm afraid I didn't, because I've just been iterating and working on it in bursts. And it's really something I should have done in hindsight. So when I get any of these kind of project ideas, that is something I'll be doing in the future for sure. But equally, what I'll say is it wasn't like there was one perfect prompt here or there and then I kind of got there. It really took a lot of trial and error in terms of trying a prompt that didn't quite work. Let me tweak it to do this, and making sure that I gave it the right context. And this is something we've said on the channel before, that you don't necessarily get it right in the first shot. Whenever as devs do we get something right in the first time that we try it? We don't. We need to iterate. We need to kind of work on it. And that's what I found that I've been doing with Copilot, with agent mode, is I might not have been clear in the prompt and the context that I'm giving. So I'm like, right, that wasn't exactly what I was after. So let me go back and iterate on that, or let me use where we've got to and build from here. So, yeah, I haven't, I'm afraid, but maybe it's something I'll try and do moving forward. So it's really good feedback. And yeah, such a great point. It was originally just a fun game, an idea that I thought about on a walk after I was getting lunch, to really breaking down a lot of problems, actually. And even now, still, there's a lot of problems like brittle tests, flaky tests, things like that, that I've been fighting with in terms of how I'm managing state in the application and what triggers and hooks are in place. And it's really helping my own learning when I think about like React and Next.js and things like that as well. So it's been a really, really fascinating and interesting project. So completely agree with that comment. And yeah, the game is interesting, right? For what sounds like such a simple game, you can go and really dive into the details and, think through the problem in a lot of different ways. Because, any of you on the stream might look at the way the scoring works and go, yeah, but you didn't account for this, or you didn't account for this, or you're being too harsh on this penalty or too harsh on this bit. And there's different ways of solving the problem, right? So this is where it's been really interesting. But this is why I love this graph, because what you can start seeing, if I just rotate it maybe this way, for example, is you get to see that in easy or medium mode, it goes to what, about 32 different moves, I guess, which I think it was doubled the number of cards that there are. So 4x4 is 16. Yeah, double the number of cards. So in theory, it starts from 8 in a 4x4. So whether you're on easy or medium, because that's the minimum you could do it in. If you happen to guess right every single pair, that is the perfect matching that you can get. So the highest that you could get on easy mode, in 30 seconds, where you get the 2 times multiplier, is something like 500 or so. But that would be you spend 0 time. So that's not realistic, right? But it's kind of modeling the range of where you could go and look at things. Then when you look at medium, because medium is a bit harder, one of those images has transformations applied to it. So it's either rotated, it's got a color filter on it or something like that. you're rewarded for that extra difficulty. So there's that multiplier then in the medium mode. So you can see how there's almost this this range of different scoring levels. And you'll notice this graph is not just an X and a Y, but there's an X, a Y, and a Z. So then we can also look at how the time remaining goes and impacts the score then as well. So it's just been really fascinating as a project. Like, I never thought that I would be digging into 3D graphs when I was building a memory card pairing game. Like, it was such a rabbit hole that I went down, but it's been really fascinating and interesting and fun to go and look at. So yeah, you can kind of see just the differences here, and how much, if you really can do well in hard mode. So anyone with eidetic memories, is it eidetic is the word? I'm probably pronouncing that really badly and really wrong and incorrectly. But if you have that memory where it's photographic, if you could click through really quickly and get that all sorted, you could perform really well in the game. But equally, if you make a load of just random moves in hard mode, you could perform worse than you did in easy or medium. And that's something deliberate I tried to bake into the model, that if you perform really well in a higher mode, you should be rewarded. But if you perform really badly in one of those modes compared to high in a lower mode, then, you know, there should be like a comparative scoring between the two. So yeah, really, really fascinating. So are the final numbers something you figured out manually with these charts, or did Copilot come up with their values? Combination, actually, is what I would say. So originally it started off as something like, and actually I might actually, you know what, let me just dig back into that. Do I have the original? Don't think I actually source controlled this one, because it was something that I was spinning up as such a yeah, I didn't, unfortunately. It was something that I was expecting just to be such a small little helper, and I wasn't expecting it to be saved or anything like that. That I was just going to throw away that kind of Python script after I used it. But in the end became this thing, and I was like, I can't throw this away. This is just amazing. So again, it just shows the importance of, from the very beginning, doing things like source control, so you can see how those ideas change over time. I do have the history for the game itself, though. But coming back to your question, though, are the final numbers something you figured out manually with the charts, or did Copilot come up with the values? Originally, Copilot, the way I prompted it, it generated 3 independent graphs. So one which was like score and time, one which was like score and moves taken, and I think one which was like score and difficulty or something like that. And then that was kind of the basis of me starting to think, okay, actually, there's different inputs to this model. It's not just each independent factor. These are all like parts of the formula that then come out at the other end, which results in the score. So they shouldn't be independent. They should all be part of the one same kind of graph and one game view. But actually, there's some things the user can control, which is the duration of the game. It's the mode that they pick, so whether it's easy, medium, or hard. Then we, as like the game designer, get to pick, right, what are the multipliers for those things? How do you get rewarded for that? So initially, Copilot made an assumption that longer duration was better. And I was like, no, let me correct you there. If you do it in a longer time, you should be penalized, because the aim of the game is to do it as quick as you can. So let's come up with a ratio that 60 seconds is the average. And then if you do anything lower than that, you get rewarded. If you do anything more than that, you get penalized. If you do it in 60, that's just like a base multiplier of 1. So it was then kind of looking and kind of pairing with Copilot at each step and going, right, I kind of see where you're going with that, but that's not what I'm thinking of. And it's where I didn't give it the context of what was in my brain. So we were kind of iterating together like a pair or peer programmer, however you want to kind of say it. And that's where then this model eventually came out. So this is where we've got these independent factors of the duration, of the difficulty level. I think originally as well, the performance hits that you take for clicking moves badly. So if you were just clicking the board all over the place, originally the model that I put actually, so this wasn't a Copilot thing, this was Chris' decision originally. I multiplied that against the score for the time and the score for the number of pairs that you get. So it was penalizing both the pair scoring and the time scoring as well. But if you think about it, why is that a time thing? That should just be a pairing thing. Like if you're clicking all of the cards randomly, that's just to do with the pairing side of it, right? Oh, and my stream has frozen. Thank you for letting me know that. I seem to be having some camera issues today, folks. Got to love it. There we go. We're back. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate you calling it out. And yeah, that it was really just something iterative is really the answer to that one. It wasn't that Copilot came out with the answer. It wasn't that I kind of looked at the graphs and the number came out. It was I'd look at the graph, make a decision, look at some of the logic, think through what I wanted as the model, and kind of pair with Copilot then to go and get that into a way where I eventually ended up with this model and really, really happy with that. So, it's definitely been a journey using the J word there, journey. Because you can see like in hard modes, just how the time remaining in the moves made impacts final score and things like that. Really, really interesting. And yeah, thanks for this comment as well. It really has been a lot of fun, surprisingly. Like, I keep saying it over and over, but from an idea that came from a lunchtime walk, I didn't think I'd end up in like 3D graphs to go and figure out a scoring function for the game. Like, that was not where I thought it would go at all. And to one of the comments earlier, the importance of letting the mind wander, right? The importance of just thinking through things and thinking, what if? And this is kind of the power that we have as devs, right? Is we can go and build some of this cool stuff. So I'm by no means done with this game whatsoever. Like there's a lot more that I need to go and do with it. So maybe I'll share more next week on that as well. But yeah, that's kind of the project that I've been working on and what has been keeping me busy, and it's been really fun and fascinating. So I'd really love to know, like, what are you working on? What is one of those things that you've been thinking that would be kind of fun to go and make? Like, that would be kind of an interesting project. What are some of those projects that have been in your mind? Because I'd love to learn, what have you been thinking about? And maybe now is the time to go and try it. Maybe you could go and use Copilot to be that rubber duck to help you get started, just like I did on this project. And along the way, I've learned a ton. Like, when I started learning web dev, it was around the time that, it was around the time that we had jQuery and stuff like that. Like, it was proper vanilla JavaScript. HTML, CSS, and PHP, and kind of those days. Then I didn't really get into the whole React side of things for a while, and I feel I was really late to the game with that. And so this was just a really good opportunity for me to kind of modernize my own understanding. And I've started learning a lot about like React hooks, states, how the component side of things work, looking at things like rendering and stuff like that as well. And it's really getting into all of that side of things as well, which I typically focus on the back end side. So it's just been really fascinating and interesting for me to dive into a bit here as well. So yeah, really, really great project from that perspective. So what is kind of next? What is going on? Well, I've got this. Let me go to my issues here. Again, one of the things that I did was I asked Copilot, hey, I feel this code base is quite complex at the moment. Like, I'm sure I'm redeclaring things in one component or one hook that I could be centralizing and having some dry principles in there. So don't repeat yourself, by the way, is dry. So it's a good principle to go and follow. Oops, let me go and remove that mouse over. So then what I did was I asked Copilot, hey, how can I reduce the complexity in this game? How can I improve what we've got? And Copilot came back with a load of different suggestions. So what I did was I converted those into issues. And I've basically been taking each of these issues as inputs for Copilot now and saying, right, this is now your work item. Go and make that happen. Go and work on it. So let's go and pick one. Let's go and do... I'm trying to think what logically makes sense to come back next. So we've got styling and theme stuff. I know the effects logic one is going to be a little more involved. And with the time we've got left, probably not worth doing that one. And consolidating game logic hooks is probably a bit more involved as well. So I think maybe let's try this one and just see where we end up. Going. So let me jump back to VS Code and kind of show you what's going on. I have a Copilot instructions file here. And again, used Copilot to help me generate the instructions file as well. Didn't take the exact output though. I did change that because it wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. And I wanted to add in some additional things as well. So, you know, I'm saying that it's an expert React developer renowned for its ability to reduce complexity while enhancing readability and cohesion on the code base. Your work prioritizes simplicity, accessibility, and clear communication through code. So when completing tasks, you should refactor code to eliminate redundant logic, streamline complex patterns, focus on modularity and reusable components, ensure readability, maintaining clear naming conventions, grouping related logic, using JS docs, adding inline comments, following best practices for React dev. And the last one I introduced, I think either this morning or yesterday actually, but when introducing code or maintaining existing code, making sure that there are tests in place to verify functionality, because I have got a ton of tests in place. And the thing that has been really important with the tests actually is managing the state when you're flipping a card and whether the cards match or not, and making sure we're not locking up the game board then so you can't do any subsequent pairings. I had some really brittle tests and really had to dig into the weeds of all of that. And so that's why I added in that line, because I spent so much time trying to make my tests really robust that I just want to keep adding to that now. So that's why that one's in there. So when we work with Copilot in Visual Studio Code, it's going to pull in this Copilot instructions file as a result. So you can see where we're going here. I'm going to just copy this and say something like, this is your next work item. Let's go to agent mode, Poetry 5 sonnets. I'm just curious how it will do. So use the one reference, which is that Copilot instructions file. So it's taking those custom instructions and using that. So help improve the styling consistency across components. Let me first search for instances where we're using inline styles and different styling approaches. So depending on how it makes changes, I'm fully expecting it to go and break tests. I'm fully expecting it to go and, make things go wrong, basically. Because a lot of my component tests do check for individual classes as well. So yeah. Huh. Interesting. So we're already making our own kind of custom properties, I guess. Is that what you call them in Tailwind? Where you can rotate by 90, 180, or 270, and it'll translate what that means to the CSS. Grayscale, CPR invert, opacity as 0.8. So it's taking those properties that are common for the cards, for what we apply to cards, and making those a bit more reusable, I guess. That's kind of how I'm interpreting that one. Right, so now I'll update the game card component to use Tailwind classes instead of inline styles. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So it will go and push rotate 180. Got it. So we're almost making our own kind of custom classes there then, which can be reused. I can kind of see the reason for that. We define it once. So I can kind of see that. I can see that. Nice. Okay. And this is what's nice as well. When it writes those changes, agent mode will actually go and check if there's any problems. So for any of you who use Visual Studio Code, if you've got like syntax errors or things that don't make sense, like if you've got the language server installed and it detects that there's a problem, you get something like this. There we go. There's a problem. So it then checks as well whether there's problems along the way as it's writing the code, which is nice. Globals, let's take a look. So I think I know what's going on there. I think that may have changed because of the recent Tailwind 4. I think. This is interesting as well. It's actually changing how it generates the grid there as well. Nice. Yep. And this is why the kind of context that you pass in is so important. So important. And it really has been this kind of iteration between asking Copilot, getting back, asking Copilot, getting back. Remove the inline styles for the progress bar. Use Tailwind classes. Nice. Let's see what's changed on that one. Don't think anything on that one actually. Apart from it looks like it's now SJS text there. Right. And then we've got the different progresses. Right, that's what changed. I didn't pick up on that. Progress percent. I see. Okay. Okay. And it's going back to use the new progress with utilities. There we go. That's what's kind of fun, right? Is made some initial changes, then went back to the config, now going back and making more changes. And it's adding, interesting, some ARIA labels. To help with accessibility there, I guess, as well. Do I have any best practices when it comes to writing the context file? This is such a great question. Such a great question. I have some principles, and that would be simplicity, so keeping it simple, being specific. So if I gave that to someone who had zero context of what I'm working on, would they understand what they need to do? And there was a third S, which I've forgotten now. A simplicity, specific, and kind of keeping it short as much as you can to a degree. And what I mean by short is if you can use those two principles together, then you should be quite targeted in like the context that you're kind of providing. But there are times where it's appropriate to be less specific, like if you're more exploring. So I think it really depends on like what it is that you're trying to do as well. But don't think it's like a magical tool that will understand all context automatically. Like if I was working with one of my colleagues and building this out, I wouldn't just kind of go, hey, can you go fix that, please? Thanks. You know, I'd need to kind of give them the context and say, hey, I've been working on this problem. These are the kind of the tests which are failing. These are the changes that I made. My suspicion is I think that this is going wrong, but I can't quite see the problem. Can you help me out with that? So it's kind of giving the context enough that you can go, right, if I was working with someone else, what would they need to know to be able to go and achieve that task? So that's why things like, you know, that Copilot instruction file and saying, hey, you're an expert React developer, you focus on modularity, you focus on these things, you do these. Because that's what I'm looking for when I'm working with it. I'm looking for that modularity. I'm looking for that reuse. I'm looking for helping me make sure I'm keeping things simple. I was going to be like, not complex. And I was like, what is that word? It's simple. So yeah, that's how I think about it. That's kind of my mental model is if I were working with a colleague, what is the context they would need to know and kind of translating it in that way. So hopefully that helps. So yeah, keep it simple, keep it short. And when I say short, I don't mean like, you know, it needs to be like X amount of words or whatever. Just, you know, be really targeted in terms of what it is that you're kind of giving it. And then specificity can vary. Exactly. You know, the specificity, it's such a hard word to say. And yeah, I make myself have to say it. You know, if I'm doing something more exploratory, like where in the code base does blah happen? Or can you document instances of X? But I might not know exactly what I need to do yet. So the altitude at which I'm working is a bit higher. And that's why I might not be as specific in those scenarios. But if I know that I'm working on this problem, I'm working on this file, these tests have changed, this thing has gone, you know, I've made these changes, that's all rich context because I'm working on a very targeted kind of problem. So yeah, That's why that altitude varies a little bit. So hopefully that helps. You wouldn't tell your colleague, go fix this. That's much more fun. Yeah, fun for who? Is it fun for you or the colleague when, you're in that kind of peer review and then suddenly, you quickly realize that actually you're not going in the same direction? I don't enjoy that. But fun I get to be like, hey, there's the problem. Please help. Thanks. Bye. But yeah, glad the points are valuable. Let's see. Gameboard's grid template can be simplified. Nice. Okay. Looking on the use card state hook. Ah. Oh, nice. That's cool. And then it's updating how it does that. So we just translate it in. Ah, lovely. I love that. That definitely is easier. Although, one thing... No, actually, that is nice. Yeah, it gets rid of a helper method. That is very nice. Love that. The error check show no issues. Update the README. Include documentation. So we got some custom utilities. Would I put them in the README? I don't know. I'm not against it. I suppose it makes sense. So moved all of those. Yep. Okay. Moment of truth. Oops. Does it still look good? Because if I do say so, and I am not a designer, I thought it looked kind of good. I'm a big fan of Tailwind. It makes it makes it easy to design some of these web apps. And hello, folks. Thanks for joining. Okay, good. So it actually compiles. So we've got no linting errors in there, which is a good start. So let's go take a look. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so clearly we broke something. We definitely broke something. And this is where... So that point about specificity now, this is where I'm going to jump in and say something like, I'm not sure what went wrong, but those changes we made earlier haven't gone as expected. For example, when I load the game, it presents a huge card and doesn't appear to be in a grid. It's almost like they're all vertically stacked. Let's just double check that. So we got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and if we flip, can't even flip it now. Oh, is that because the game was over? Yeah, we can't even flip it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's try that. But this might be one that I revert and try again, because clearly, well, in fact, let's do this as well. I run the tests. I imagine we'll have breaking changes. And I imagine a few of them. There we go. So this is where I might say, hey, can you do this iteratively? Can you run tests, make sure the test pass, then move on to the next component or something like that? So again, it just helps me kind of think through what makes sense there. Grid size. Okay. Same number of test failures and test suite failures as well. Oop. There we go. Yeah, so clearly I need to go back and fix something. So I think what I'm going to do on this occasion, because I know we are actually running over on the stream as well, is I'm just going to go and revert those changes for now. Because I want to make sure I think through that really effectively. I don't want to rush it. Just how much we've kind of put into the game so far in the effort. So yeah, I'm going to pause on that. But I know something that we do need to do before we. Actually, there's something else I'll show as well. Oh no, where to go? You know what? I'm going to show another little project that I worked on. So. Yep. So one of the oh, what did I do? Uh-oh. Oh, it's because it's in the source folder, isn't it? Yeah, I remember. Okay. Oh, maybe not. There we go. I've got some kind of nested package thing going on. Right, run dev. There we go. One of the samples that I put out on our GitHub samples org is a game of life walkthrough. So if you're interested in trying out Copilot and you want a project to try it out, in fact, I should probably... Let me just double check that I've got a shortcut. Oop. Yeah. And I'll put it on screen if I do. Yeah, I do. Great. Let me do this. There we go. And boop. There we go. gh.io/game-of-life. I made this sample. So if you wanted to get started using Copilot, you can go and try it out. So you can go and make your own version of Game of Life. And Game of Life, if you've never tried it before, is like a cellular autonoma kind of thing. So one of the squares impacts the next square around it based on how many neighbors it has. It was made by Conway, I want to say. Blah, 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 blah. And in this end-to-end thing, we deploy to GitHub Pages, and you can do the same too. So you can kind of see that there. And that's how it originally starts. But I ask it to go and make a GitHub theme. So anyway, the reason I'm showing you that is I was like, that's in 2D. But it would be kind of fun if we could do it. Oh, no, it's not the right window, Chris. On the right window. Here we go. It would be kind of fun if we could do it in 3D, right? So here's a cube, and hopefully that shows up on screen. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen there as well. If here's a cube, we can reset the cube as well. And if I hit start, you can see it's doing 5 generations a second. We could kind of slow that down if we wanted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, There you go. We've got the... you can see there's almost like these invisible cubes of where they might be. Maybe it shows up on screen, hopefully, on stream. But then you can make it super, super quick. And we can see this kind of Conway's Game of Life in 3D. So, yeah, I just thought this was kind of a fun alternative as well. That was something I made. Anyway, I'm sidetracking because we need to do our ritual before we go and wrap up here. So, you know the drill. We're going to play our favorite game of coin toss, heads and tails. And let's see. So go build. PH game, coin toss. Right. Are we going to go heads or are we going to go tails? What are we going to do, folks? Let me know. I haven't had a good winning streak on this one in a good few weeks. So, come on. I feel like we've had a good stream today. Heads once, then tails twice. Interesting. Okay. Heads. Oh. Tails. Oh. There we go. Right. I've got to wait now. What is the next option? We are going to be... oh, I'm seeing heads. Seeing heads. Oh, there we go. I'm seeing another heads. We got to 4. 4 was good. 4 was good. So we got to 4. There we go. So we've done our ritual. We've done our coin toss for the day. Normal coins are available if you want to carry on and, let me know how that goes. But there we go. That's been the stream for the day, folks. So less live coding today, but I still feel like it's been a good stream. Let me know if it has, because I can also do some more like this as well. Try and do a bit of work outside and kind of talk back about what I've been working on and what we've been doing. But yeah, just doing through some of the changelogs again, talking through what I've been building with what I'm calling OctoSnap, and then walking through kind of the journey that I've been on with building that. So, going and starting off with just colored squares that we were going and flipping over, matching those, then bringing in the images, then having the basic kind of functionality, then bringing in game modes, thinking through the scoring model, and down the rabbit hole that we talked about with kind of looking at scoring models, these types of things. And yeah, the importance of letting the mind wander, the importance of just being inquisitive, and what sounds like a really simple problem of matching some cards and scoring them became this really interesting project. So we'll keep you posted on that. The aim and the hope is to release it, so I'll keep you all posted on that. But yeah, hopefully it's been enjoyable. Hopefully it's been useful. Let me know what you want to see more of. If you want to do more of the Go stuff, if you want to do more CLI, if you want to do more front-end stuff, bearing in mind I'm definitely not a front-end dev, but I'm happy to learn on stream and happy to kind of see things go wrong and how we can kind of build and evolve and grow. And yeah, if there's specific things that you want to go and look at, let me know. We'll have another stream later today. So again, Cassidy will be doing that later. I believe her plan is to look at Copilot agent mode again today. So that will be at 2 p.m. Eastern. So I believe that's around, well, I would say it's around 7 in the UK, but I know we're starting to approach daylight savings time. It's on YouTube, it's on LinkedIn. I guess it's on Twitch as well, the schedule. So go and take a look at any of those platforms. You can go and take a look. After the stream is done, I will repoint the short URL to Cassidy's stream, so you can go and check that out later. We have Open Source Fridays tomorrow, which is always amazing. So I recommend you go and check that out as well. And we will not have a European stream next week, I am afraid. And reason being, I'm going to take some time off next week. I'm going to just switch off for a week. So I'm afraid I won't be streaming next week. Cassidy will be, though, so you can tune into her Rubber Duck Thursdays next week. But then we will be back, as usual, in the European time zone anyway, on the 20th of March again. So we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Otherwise, please have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you again for joining, as always. Really enjoyed this one today. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye for now, folks. Thank you.